stop. You just did something weird. You took another person, pressed your lips against theirs, and thought that was completely normal. Think about it for a second. Seriously, you take the most sensitive part of your face and literally connect it to someone else's mouth. You exchange saliva, bacteria, breath, and you call that romance. Where did this even come from? Like, who was the first person to come up with this? And why does it still hit us this hard? That's exactly what we're going to talk about. The first thing we need to destroy is the illusion that kissing is hardwired into us by nature. It's not. In 2015, anthropologists William Jankowiak from the University of Nevada and Catherine Turner conducted one of the largest cross-cultural studies on this topic. They examined 168 cultures around the world. The result is shocking. Romantic kissing was found in only 46% of them. Less than half of humanity kisses romantically. Peoples of Central Africa, tribes of the Amazon, parts of Southeast Asian cultures, they don't kiss at all. And yet, they love, they build families, they raise children, they live full lives. That means kissing is not a program, it's an invention. Someone somewhere started this, and it spread. But how? For a long time, it was believed that kissing originated from ancient texts, roughly 3,500 years ago. But in 2022, everything flipped. A team of scientists from the University of Copenhagen, led by Assyriologist Troels Kanga, published a study in the journal Science. They were analyzing clay tablets from Mesopotamia, the civilization that lived in the territory of modern-day Iraq, and they found descriptions of kissing, romantic, sexual, dated to around 3000 BC. 5,000 years. 5,000 years we've been doing this. But here's what's interesting. The researchers also found something else. Right next to the descriptions of kissing were mentions of illnesses, fevers, sores on the lips, meaning people back then already noticed. Kissing sometimes spreads disease, and they kept doing it anyway, so it was worth it. But why? When you kiss, your brain literally explodes. Neuroscientist Helen Fisher from Rutgers University spent years studying the brains of people in love using MRI scans. She would put people inside a scanner and show them photos of their partners. The brain lit up like a Christmas tree. The ventral tegmental area activated, the zone that floods the brain with dopamine. That's the substance of anticipation and reward, the same zone that activates in people using cocaine. At the same time, oxytocin is released, the hormone of trust and attachment. That's exactly what creates the feeling. This person is mine. I'm safe with them. And cortisol drops, the stress hormone. In 2009, a specific experiment was conducted at Lafayette University. They took 52 students living with partners. One group was told, kiss more often. 6 weeks. The other group changed nothing. After 6 weeks, they measured hormone levels. In the kissing group, cortisol dropped significantly. Anxiety decreased. Relationship satisfaction went up. Just from kissing. 6 weeks. A measurable result. Okay, the chemistry makes sense, but why did this even appear from an evolutionary standpoint? Version number 1. Kissing as a biological assessment of a partner. Evolutionary psychologist Gordon Gallup from the University at Albany surveyed 1,041 people in 2007. He asked, did a first kiss ever change how you felt about someone? 59% of women and 66% of men said yes. After a first kiss, they lost interest in someone who had seemed attractive just moments before. One kiss, and the attraction vanished. Why? Gallup explains it through saliva. It contains markers of the immune system, MHC antigens. They reveal how different your immune defense is from your partner's. The greater the difference, the better for children. Different immune systems give offspring broader protection, and we feel this unconsciously in fractions of a second through taste, smell, and contact. A kiss is an ancient biological blood test, just without the needle. But there's another theory. It's older and much simpler. Anthropologist Kristen Hawkes from the University of Utah studied archaic childcare practices. In many ancient cultures, and still today in some cultures of Africa and Oceania, mothers would chew food and transfer it to their children, mouth to mouth. This is called pre-mastication. It was practiced for thousands of years. There were no jars, no blenders, mouth to mouth, directly, mother to child. German scientist Irenaeus Eibel Eibesfeld documented in his field research, children calmed down instantly, not because of the taste of the food, because of the lip contact itself. The body remembered. Lips to lips means care. It means safety. I won't be abandoned. And when an adult first pressed their lips to another adult's, the body responded with that same ancient memory. The first romantic kiss in history was possibly just an echo of a mother's care. But here's a theory that scholars discuss less often, because it's inconvenient. What if the kiss didn't start with love, but with dominance? In medieval Europe, there was a clear practice. A vassal would kiss the hand of a feudal lord. A soldier would kiss the hand of a commander. This was called homage, literally an act of submission through the lips. But even earlier in ancient Rome, a kiss on the lips between men was the norm, not romantic, political. It sealed deals. It confirmed loyalty. It was how two people said to each other, there are no secrets between us. I am open with you. A kiss is a contract. A kiss is a signature. signature, and this changes everything because it turns out a kiss has never been simply about feelings. It has always been about information, about trust, about who you are and whether you can be trusted. Here's a fact that personally struck me. The lips are the only part of the body where the muscles attach directly to the skin, not to the bones, to the skin. That's why we read facial emotions so accurately. That's why a fake smile is immediately visible. The muscles can't imitate a genuine movement as accurately. And that's why a kiss is impossible to fake completely. You can pretend to listen. You can feign interest. You can say, "I love you" without a single emotion inside. But a kiss is direct contact with the most honest part of the face. There's no buffer. There's no distance. That's why it's so feared. That's why it means so much. That's why the first kiss with a new person is always a moment of vulnerability. You literally reveal the most honest part of yourself. And here's where the story takes a sharp turn. Researchers from Harvard University, part of the renowned Harvard Study of Adult Development, the longest-running study of happiness in history spanning over 85 years, came to one key conclusion. Not money, not career, not health per se. The quality of close relationships is the only reliable predictor of whether a person will be happy and live longer. One indicator from decades of data. And what's most interesting is that they measured not the number of relationships, but depth, the extent to which a person felt truly close to at least one other person. A kiss isn't a decoration of intimacy. It's one of the few moments when intimacy becomes physically real, when it ceases to be an abstraction and becomes a bodily fact. Ancient people knew this intuitively, without MRIs or hormonal tests, and we've forgotten how to trust it. We live in a world where intimacy has become dangerous. Opening up means taking a risk. Showing your true self means giving someone a weapon against you, and so we've begun to defend ourselves, building walls, keeping our distance even from those we love. Psychologist John Gottman of the University of Washington studied couples for 40 years. He could predict divorce with 94% accuracy just by observing a couple for 15 minutes. And the main sign wasn't arguments, not cheating, not money. The main sign is when people stop reaching out to each other, not physically, emotionally. When one person makes a small gesture toward each other and the other doesn't respond. Once, twice, 100 times in a row. And at some point, the first one stops reaching out altogether. A kiss is exactly such a gesture. Small, simple, but demanding a response. Ancient people began kissing because they instinctively understood that it was impossible to be close to someone and remain closed off. This contradiction slowly and imperceptibly kills the connection. And here's the most important part, the part nobody talks about. Kissing emerged as a precise tool to read a partner, to build trust, to say, "I'm here, I'm with you, you're safe." But then civilization came along and ruined everything. Today we kiss people we barely know when we greet them, because that's just what you do. We send in messages without thinking. We kiss our kids on autopilot, somewhere between the alarm and the coffee. Neuroscientist Paul Zak from Claremont University studied how oxytocin is produced in modern couples. His conclusion is blunt. The brain can tell the difference between a real kiss and a mechanical one. Oxytocin is only released when there's genuine presence, when you're actually here, when you're actually feeling a habitual automatic kiss is chemically empty. The hormones don't respond. The bond doesn't strengthen. We kept the form, but killed what was inside it. So why did ancient humans start kissing? Because they needed the truth about another person, fast, without words. The body can't pretend during a close contact. Smell, temperature, taste, the rhythm of breathing, all of it is honest information. Instant a kiss was a way of saying, "Show me who you really are." And now, a question for you. When was the last time you kissed like that? And actually stopping. No thoughts about tomorrow, no phone in your head, no rush, fully present with another human being. We live in an era of record-breaking connectedness, messages, calls, likes, reactions, and yet an epidemic of loneliness. 1 in 3 people in developed countries regularly feels alone. Maybe it's not about the number of connections. Maybe it's about the fact that we've forgotten how to actually be inside them. Ancient humans kissed rarely, but completely, without holding anything back. We kiss every day, but almost never, all the way through. A kiss without presence is 2 people touching each other while remaining completely alone. The question isn't why ancient humans started kissing. The question is, do you still remember how it's done?